Hi everyone, I hope you had a lovely weekend. We have now finished our maths area that we were learning about last week, and this week we are going to be learning about some statistics, starting with bar charts. Um, we use bar charts to help us analyse and gather information more quickly instead of having to count up loads and loads of numbers, and I'll explain that a bit more clearly when we come to our first example. So, first of all, we're going to be looking at the sort of things we have to include when we make our own bar charts and making sense of the bar chart. We're then going to be using a bar chart to answer some questions, and then finally, you guys are going to be making your own bar charts about something of your choosing. So on to our first example. So, this is what our bar charts look like. As you can see, we've got 4 different lines up to a certain number. Every single bar chart should have a title. So this one's about favourite fruit. Sometimes there's a little sentence explaining it a bit more in detail. So here is a bar chart showing the favourite fruit of a class of children. As you can see, along the bottom we've got the names of the fruit. So along the bottom is the name of the thing, and up the side is our numbers. So this will be the number of children up the side, and these are our fruits along the bottom. Bar charts are very simple. All you need to do is, all you need to do is look at the fruit at the bottom. So in this case, we've got our banana, and see where the line goes up to. It goes all the way up to 10, so we can say that 10 children in the class, their favourite fruit is banana. Next up we have grapes, and all you need to do again is go to the number, see where it goes up to. It goes up to 2, so I can say that there are 2 children in this class that their favourite fruit is grapes. Next one, we've got our apples, same again, along to the sides, up to where it stops, which is 8. There are 8 children in this class who their favourite fruits are apples. And finally, we've got our pears. Along to the side, up to the 6. 6 children in the class, their favourite fruit are pears. Sometimes to make it easier, if you're finding that a bit tricky just to look along the line, you can use a ruler. So hopefully this works. We can see that we place it on the top of the blue and it goes along to the number 6. So yeah, that's our bar chart. I'll explain that again. We've got our title at the top. This one's got a little sentence. We've got the numbers up the side. We always put the numbers at the side. And along the bottom, we've got the name of the fruit, the name of the thing that we are counting. The next example is something about, well, not fruit. And what I want you guys to do is you're going to look at this, we're going to talk about it, you're going to look at it, and you're going to answer 3 questions on it. And that is on the PowerPoint. So let's have a look at it first, we'll discuss it, and then you can go to the PowerPoint to answer the questions. So this one, the title, as we can see, it's about number of ice creams sold. Along the bottom, we've got the days of the week, Monday up to Sunday. And then again, we've got our numbers up the side, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 13. So just to start you off with one of the bits of data that we can collect from this bar chart, I'm going to choose a day at random. Let's say Tuesday. We go to our Tuesday. How many ice creams were sold on Tuesday? We follow it up to where it stops, and it goes up to the 5. So I can say that there were 5 ice creams sold on Tuesday. At this point, pause this video, go over to the PowerPoint where you will find the same slides that are on here now, and answer the questions on the following slide on the PowerPoint, and then come back to this point and we'll move on. Okay, so hopefully you've answered those questions. The answers were on the next slide after those questions. And now you're back here ready to start looking at making your own bar chart. So tally marks, I've written this here because you should have done this already last year or in year 2. But if you've not, we'll quickly go over it. So I've got a bit of paper here, and I'm going to show you what our tally marks look like. So tally marks are for when you are collecting information. For example, if I was outside and I was counting the number of crows I saw, every time I saw a crow, I would just do this. Okay, so that's 1. Another crow, 2. Okay, and you keep going. The only thing that's different is when you get to 5, on each 5, you need to cross it to make a kind of gate. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. If I was to carry on to see 6 crows, I would then leave a little gap and start again. 6, 7, 8, 9, and you guessed it, 10. So every 5 you make a gate. 11. Okay, this makes it a lot easier to count. I can see that I've got 5, 10, 11 crows that I spotted. If I was to do this, okay, you'd be sitting there for ages trying to work out and probably lose count. So this is why we do this. So 5, 10, 11, instead of doing this, which is a bit messy and you can't see it straight away. That's our tally marks. So what I've decided to do my bar chart on is the types of crockery in my cupboard. So if you can see up here, we've got crockery in the cupboard. So I've chosen, so we've got our type, we've got a plate, a saucer, a bowl and a mug. There are my 4 things that I'm going to count in my cupboards. I'm going to make a tally mark of how many of each of these I have in my cupboard. And then just to count it up, I'm going to put a number here. Okay, so I'll be right back and you'll see that I've filled out the tally section. Okay, so as you can see, I've gone to my cupboard, I've counted all of the plates, saucers, bowls and mugs in the cupboard and created a tally of how many is each of how many of each I have. So as we can see straight away, I've got 5 because I can see 1 gate, as it were, 1 set of 5 here. So I can put number 5 here. Saucer, we can see that I've only got 4. I don't have any sets of 5 here. So I can say that I've got 4. Next, bowls. I can see I've got 5. Count on from 5 after you see one of these sets of 5, 5, 6, 7. And then finally mug, I've got 5, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so I've now collected my data and now I'm ready to put this into a bar chart. So if you can't quite remember the different things that a bar chart needs to have, you can rewind this video and you can refresh your mind on what you need to have. Okay, so when I do this bar chart, I'm going to be using my lines on my page to help me which number to go up to. Okay, so first of all, we check this number 12 is our absolute most that we need to go up to. So I would say that I need at least 12 lines to be doing this. I'm going to do it on this side here because I've not left enough space here between this and my tally. So I'm going to do it next to it here. So always use a ruler when you're doing a bar chart. It's very, very important. Because if you don't, it's going to look wonky, people aren't going to be able to read the data properly and it just won't look good at all. So, as you can see, 12 is our most, so we need to do at least 12 lines. I'm going to leave a bit more just to be safe. So, Okay, so that's our side with our numbers. They're going to go here. I've left more than 12 just in case. We've got 4 things that we're counting how many we have. So put our thing along here. And you leave plenty of room. There's no point in doing a line to about here and squeezing it all in and not being able to do it properly. Because again, it looks messy. Give yourself space. It's very, very important. Okay. So when we do our bar graphs, we should always be putting 0 here. Okay, because this shows that there is 0. If I had another type of crockery here, let's say just cups, and I didn't have any, you could still include cups here, but just not draw a bar at all. So 0, I'm going to do it up to 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12. Okay, I've left myself some space at the top. You can go more than 12, but you won't be using these numbers. If you do it on the actual lines, it's very easy to see where you want to go up to when you're putting these numbers in. So our first type, as you can see, we've got a plate. So I'm going to leave a little gap and I'm going to write plate. Again, I'm going to leave a gap. I'm going to write saucer. Next one, we've got bowl. And finally, we've got mug. I'm trying to leave about the same amount of space between each one. Okay, so we've got our 4: plate, saucer, bowl, and mug. The way I like to do it, just to make sure I've done it correctly, is see how many. So 5, we know that plate needs to go up to 5. I put my finger on 5 and I'm going to draw a little dot where I'm going to draw my line up to. Okay, you could even draw the outline of your bar that you're going to draw. So plate, we can see is 5. Draw our bar up to the 5 here. Next, we've got our saucer. We have 4. We're going to leave a small gap between plate and saucer. Going to draw its own bar. So 4. Draw our bar shape. Draw our lines with a ruler, very important. Saucer up to 4. Next, we've got bowl, which is over here. We've got 7 in our bowl, so we count up to 7, make sure that that's all in line, and we're going to draw the shape of our bars. Bowl, as always with a ruler. And finally, we've got mug. Mug all the way up to 12. Make sure this is in line. So up to the 12 mug. Draw the shape of our bar. Down to mug. Okay, and this is our bar chart. Of course, you need your title. I've left it to the end so I know where to put it. You can do it at the start if you wish, but you must have a title. So crockery in the cupboard. is our title. And you need to color these in different colors to make it stand out a bit more. So my plate, I'm going to shade this in a nice bluey color. This is just rough coloring in. You guys will take a bit more time with that. My saucer is going to be green. My bowl is going to be orange. As I said, you guys are going to do a better job in this because this is just for the sake of the video. And the mug, purple at the end. And there we have it. Our bar chart created from the data we have collected. Okay, so today's focus is on the bar chart. We will be looking at tables a bit more later on in the week. So if you're finding this really hard, do not worry. As long as you collect the number and try to use your tally marks, and you're able to transfer it into a bar chart. This is quite easy if you take your time, but it's very easy to make mistakes. So please take your time. And just like I did, count up to the number that it needs to be. So plate 5, count up to 5, do a dot. And this way it reduces the number of mistakes that you will make. So once you've completed your bar chart, make sure you have all the things that you need to include one last time. So we've got our title, we've got our numbers down the side, very important. On the bottom, we've got the things that we're measuring. And then we've got our bar with our color up to the right place. So for today's maths, your first task is looking at the bar chart on the PowerPoint and answering those 3 questions. And your second task is to create your own bar chart about whatever you would like. I would like to say before you go and do that, try to keep these numbers quite low, because if you end up in the 20, 30, 40s, it's going to be a very long bar chart. So try to keep it under 15 if you can. So under 15. You might choose fruit in the fruit bowl. You might choose different colored Lego blocks in your toy box. There are loads of different things that you could count and take a tally of and create a bar chart out of it. Okay, so 2 tasks for today. PowerPoint questions, creating your own bar chart, and I'm really looking forward to seeing all your lovely bar charts. So have fun and enjoy.